Assemble! Stay dandy, baby. Just when you thought it couldn't get weird, it just gets weirder in another exciting episode of Gleipnir. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another video talking about one of the most underrated anime of the season, Gleipnir. Another crazy episode where we get to see everybody's favorite simp, Shuichi, team up with everybody's favorite badass girl, Claire, as they try to take down monsters and find the mystery of these crazy golden coins. And guess what? A lot of it is officially revealed in this episode, but not before we get a batshit crazy scene getting to see what happens after Shuichi quite literally had his head ripped off by Elena. That was one of the shocking things about the last episode of the series, with Elena making her presence known only 3 episodes in, and she manages to shake things up almost immediately by basically physically wounding Shuichi in a way that should have killed him. And of course, as I said in my last review, he's the main character of the show. They're simply not going to kill him off that easily, and spoiler warning, he actually does survive this encounter. And that's probably lucky to the fact that he can transform into some sort of crazy monster, but more on that later. So, Elena realizes that Claire is actually inside of the Shuichi monster suit. That's really weird to say. And of course, there's immediate tension between these characters. I always thought that there was a little bit more to the whole situation of Elena killing her parents and Claire maybe being involved in it in some fashion. But no, Claire actually calls out her sister of why she did this in the first place, and Elena actually does have an explanation. It's a shitty explanation, but an explanation nonetheless. She did it because her parents were bad people, whether it be the mother, the father, they just weren't very nice folks, and she decided to burn the house down and kill the parents. And of course, this created a lot of tension between these two sisters, Elena not really feeling bad for any of this, saying that she did it for Claire's sake. In fact, Claire's the one who even stated that she is going to kill them someday herself, and so Elena took it upon herself to transform into a creepy monster and make it all happen in that crazy monster way. So, it looks like another big confrontation is going to happen with Claire trying to attack with the gun, but it never really goes anywhere, and Elena is basically able to incapacitate her. She gets a quick, mysterious phone call and decides to leave, with the implication that we're going to see Elena at some point in the future. That's when we get the big reveal that Shuichi is indeed alive, despite the fact that his head is separated from his body, and the only way that he's going to be able to get back to his normal self is to find this mysterious individual who's hanging out by the hotel and that vending machine. The weird, freaky blonde kid, who, as it turns out, is actually an alien. So, it looks like all of the monsters in this series are actually going to stem from the origins of some extraterrestrial-like beings. And what's really going on here is that this blonde kid is one of these aliens, and that all of these coins are actually his fellow comrades. The coins themselves are actually sort of like their metaphysical data, in a sense. It's kind of like their internal mind and thought all condensed down into a single coin. And I'm not quite sure why this is, outside of the fact that he just sort of offhandedly says it's a lot easier to travel when you don't necessarily have a large physical form. And they crash landed on the planet, the coins went all over the place, and this guy is desperately trying to find anyone who can help them. And in order to get that help, he transforms people into monsters. Now, of course, this is also going to have another gimmick to it. Apparently, if you're able to collect 100 more of these coins, you can get another prize, so to speak. So that's why I'm guessing all of these other people who've been given these brand new powers are going to be fighting for the power of these coins, because it's basically going to give them the ability to transform into basically a badass superhero or possibly a supervillain. That's what's kind of interesting about this alien kid, is that he's really interested in manga and movies and TVs and superhero type of characters in general, and he thinks that they're really cool and that humans would aspire to try and be something just like that. Hence why he decides to actually give them this power in the first place. He seems to be the ringleader, he seems to be having fun with all of this, and like a lot of alien characters from a bunch of other series, including anime, he is not human in a personality type sense. He doesn't seem to have as much emotion when compared to these other humans, and seems to be having fun sort of playing with them and turning them into his very own little puppets. It's a weird premise to say the least, and I honestly didn't expect that aliens were going to be involved. I thought there was something a little more paranormal or supernatural going on here, but you know what? I can accept it. Gleipnir is already weird as shit as is, so I can pretty much take anything at this point. This entire scene is also very uncomfortable as Claire actually gets out of Shuichi's body, and of course she's completely almost naked, and that's when this blonde guy decides that he's actually going to change his form because that's just something that he can do, and he transforms into a naked version of herself. That does not go over very well at all, especially when he ends up getting kneed in the crotch. However, as creepy as this guy actually is, he does have a means of helping Shuichi out. He uses one of these coins to get one of these drinks from the vending machine, which is going to supposedly heal his body. So Shuichi grabs onto his head, puts it back on, takes a little sip, and after a little bit of time, he's able to transform back to his normal human self with his head intact, but now he's got like a cool gnarly scar going across his neck. And it's really good that he didn't transform back into a human during all of this, because according to the alien guy, he would have been dead if he actually tried this. So yeah, all of a sudden, there's an alien in the series. And you know what? Shuichi and Claire take it with stride in the fact that they just made an alien for the first time. Considering all the monsters they've run into lately, honestly, an alien is not that far out of the realm of possibility for them, and they're able to sort of easily accept it. And their brand new mission, which is going to be hunting down all of these coins. In fact, the actual episode ends with Shuichi going through a pretty big change. You know, after all of these events, it was only a matter of time before his actual personality, I think, would start to harden up, and that seems to be actually happening now, with a lot of people actually taking notice, and the fact that he's more than willing to help out Claire in finding these coins, and they get ready to go into the mountains where this UFO crashed and all these coins could have been spread out. But it looks like Elena and maybe some of her other comrades are going to be there as well. I have a feeling there's going to be this evil group of monsters that were basically created by this alien guy, and they're all going to be fighting for the power of getting these coins and getting the ultimate prize. So, what's the rundown on this episode of Gleipnir? Again, the series is just so fucking strange. It's really the only way to put it, but man, it just sucks me in every single time with its storytelling, and it's so weird at this point. You know, now that there's aliens, I can accept anything that the show is going to throw at us at this point. I mean, the intro shows us that there's going to be a lot of weird stuff coming down the pipeline in terms of the characters that they're going to introduce and maybe some of the later story arcs, so yeah, it's just strange. The introduction of this blonde kid, though, leads me to believe that there's something not quite right about him. I mean, you know, it's obvious from the start that there was something not quite right about him to begin with, but, like, I have a feeling there's more to this story than the fact that these coins are simply just his comrades, which need to be found again, and the fact that he's so willing to give these people this amazing power, which you would think that some of these people would go crazy and maybe even try to stop him and take all the power for themselves, but it leads me to believe that he probably has a lot of abilities that we don't even know about. He might even be some sort of immortal-like alien creature. Again, there's just this weird air of mystery about him that I think is really interesting, and I didn't expect that they were going to reveal this stuff so early on in the series, as now they're sort of like setting up the foundations of what this entire show is ultimately going to be about. But again, the best part about Gleipnir is definitely the two main characters of Shuichi and Claire. They have an incredible camaraderie with one another, and it just gets even more intimate in this episode in so many different ways. Like, after the big moment with Elena after she walks away, Claire is just ready to kill herself right there, but luckily Shuichi is able to stop her, and again, she was ready to just let it all go. She was very serious in the earlier episodes where she said if Shuichi's gone, she's gone too. There's nothing else for her. And even after all of this happens, with her meeting her sister again, Shuichi getting incredibly damaged, and the fact that she almost killed herself and meeting an alien, she's now incredibly happy as she's found a brand new purpose in life. After the death of her parents and the mysterious, disappearance of her sister, she had nothing. No one would believe her, no one would associate with her, and now she's on a mission again. Now she has people she cares about, and now she has a reason to live, so to speak. I didn't expect something so deep from that from a show with a giant mascot monster and creepy aliens which hand out freaking powers like a damn vending machine. But yeah, it's moments like that that really make this a really strong episode. I really love the duo of these characters. They also bring back that other student, Mifune, the cute girl who clearly has feelings for Shuichi in some form or fashion. Speaking of which, we never really got into why Elena transformed Shuichi in the first place. They still haven't explained any of that stuff, and it's pretty obvious they're keeping that as a mystery. But going back to Mifune again, she's another girl who's sort of oblivious to a lot of the events that are actually going on here. She's just sort of the nice sidekick kind of girl for the show. and I already have a feeling she's going to get involved in some of this stuff in probably a bad way, whether she end up just being another companion of, say, Shuichi and Claire, or maybe she will eventually get the power of these monsters and meet this weird alien guy. It remains to be seen, but they're clearly trying to do something with her character and build her up, aside from just making her a cute side character. She has a distinctive design. They're gonna use her in some form or fashion. But yeah, this was a pretty good episode, which was building up off of the scene of the last episode, which was incredibly shocking. Shuichi lives, Claire's alive, and a brand new adventure is about to begin to try and find some mysterious alien coins and fight some monsters in the forest. I'm excited to see that. I want to see more action like I saw in the second episode of the series. That's what I'm most excited to see from here, so hopefully they will be able to deliver on that front. As for this episode right here, I actually thought that it was pretty solid despite it being very slow and very little happening, but there's a lot of like revelations about what's truly going on in the series. There's also a little bit of humor and more of that weird shock value that the series is known for. So yeah, another pretty solid episode of Gleipnir that I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. You guys definitely need to check it out, and I would love to hear all your thoughts about it in the comment section below. The big first major confrontation with Elena. What about the revelation that aliens are involved? And what do you hope to see from the coming episodes where they're almost certainly going to battle against a bunch of monsters? Let's discuss all of it in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching this review. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Transform into your alien monster form and hit that like button right now. And if you guys want to go the extra mile in supporting this channel, please make sure and check out my Patreon account. I am now taking requests on anime reviews. I'm working on 2 of them right now. I just released one recently on Katekyo Hitman Reborn, so make sure to check that out. But there's a lot more coming down the pipeline. And again, if you guys make a donation, remember just a little bit goes a long way. Even if it's just $1, it really helps out a lot. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you all next time. And as always, stay down there, baby.